Well, now, Trooper Mark Donaldson risked his life during a firefight with the Taleban to save a mate's life. He was awarded the prestigious Victoria Cross for outstanding bravery. This is his story.
On my command, wait, fire now.
It's combat and it's war, and you know, sometimes you don't know when someone's going to shoot at you. You can hear it coming past, you can see it kicking up in the dirt next to you. He was just another bloke who was in that convoy, and you know, you don't leave anyone behind, so.
Trooper Mark Donaldson awarded the Victoria Cross for Australia.
29 years old, one of the SAS elite. Last September, this secret soldier survived an Afghan bloodbath.
I guess I was lucky. I was lucky I didn't get hit, and you know, you just do your training, you're a soldier, you do your job, and 50-50, you know, sometimes you get hit, sometimes you don't.
Now, one short Canberra ceremony and he's someone else. Trooper Mark Donaldson becomes Trooper Mark Donaldson VC, marked forever by a small bronze cross set on crimson cloth.
It's really a great honour for Mark, and you know, it's an honour for me to be married to him, really.
He has a loving wife, Emma, and baby Kaylee, and he has the respect of the most powerful in the land. By tradition, even the top brass, including the head of the Defence Forces, Air Chief Marshal Sir Angus Houston, salute him.
Trooper Mark Donaldson joins the ranks of Australian heroes.
But he can't wait to get away from the fuss, back to work.
Would you like to go back to Afghanistan?
I'd like to go back to wherever they send me. Howard, you know, whatever job they give me, I'm keen to go and do it.
Yeah.
And as long as my mates are there for me, and I'm there for my mates, you know.
Rarely are SAS soldiers allowed to reveal their identity. It's even rarer for them to give interviews. Trooper Donaldson's extraordinary story and his VC outweigh the usual protocols. But all this palaver is the last thing he wants.
To be honest with you, it makes me more nervous than going out there and doing the job, so.
The day of the battle, Mark Donaldson's unit was patrolling a remote valley in southern Afghanistan.
So what's your first inkling of trouble?
Well, I guess it's, you know, there's signs and signatures that we can use. A lot of the time, you know, the women and children leave the towns, leave the villages when something's going to happen. That's usually a pretty good sign that something's going to go on. You can't tell sometimes, you know. You don't always see them, you don't always know they're there.
The Taliban had planned their ambush carefully. It was late afternoon on a winding road.
We were travelling in the vehicles at the time. We're probably spread out about 300 metres maybe. I think it was 6 vehicles. And we were travelling in the backs of the vehicles. The vehicles were pretty full up. 24 up, so 12 Aussies and 12 Yanks. And there's a few Afghanis thrown in there as well.
Surprise and the lay of the land favoured the attackers.
And there was this gully, and we were just about to drive through it, and half the cars had already gone through there. And that's when it initiated. You know, there was lots of small arms fire, lots of 7.62 getting fired at us, machine gun fire. RPGs were exploding, whizzing past us, exploding around us.
There must have been a lot of metal in the air.
Yeah, there was a fair bit flying around. You can hear it coming past, you can see it kicking up in the dirt next to you.
But are you consciously scared in a situation like that? I mean, what's happening in your head?
You're just worrying about shooting back. You know, trying to find where it's coming from, and looking to your mates and making sure they're all right, and you know, looking around, make sure you know where everyone is. Lots of loud noises because there's guns going off left, right, and centre, and rifles and heavy machine guns going off. So, and then all the while you got all the bullets coming back towards you with your rockets. And you know, I'm pretty sure there was mortars there at some stage as well. So, you know, some of the guys have seen get shot and seen them get hit by RPG. You know, fragmentation.
Pinned down under a withering fire, a large number of Mark's comrades were wounded. And this was when his actions saved a desperate situation.
If you see them in trouble out there, you go and help them out, or you go and protect them, you give them covering fire. I just ran out and was shooting my weapon and grabbed the 84mm and was the anti-armour weapon, and we were shooting that back. You know, I guess it gave the guys time to help out other fellas. I was just doing my job, you know, like I said, that's all I was doing, and you know, that's all you can do your job for your mates.
The battle raged on, but eventually Mark's unit was able to move to more sheltered ground. As they were doing that, his gallantry was again called upon when one of their Afghan helpers was left behind.
There was three of us who we couldn't get on the back of the vehicles at the time, and the vehicles were in a convoy, and the vehicle in front got hit by an air-bursting RPG, so it exploded just above the vehicle and sent shrapnel, you know, down towards the ground. He got blown off the back of that vehicle, and they didn't realise that he'd been blown out of the back of it, and they just kept driving.
You sprinted, was it 80 metres across exposed ground to rescue that interpreter?
Yeah, I saw him over there, so I just ran over there and got him.
But you were being fired at the time?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty heavy and pretty accurate. It was kicking all around us, and got my arm underneath him and helped him up. And then I got him back to the vehicle.
It wasn't until the wounded had been choppered to safety and the unit had returned to base that Mark and his comrades had time to think about what had happened.
Yeah, I guess I was pretty lucky, you know. I got out of there without getting hit, so, yeah.
Do you put it down to anything? Are you a fatalist? Are you religious? Do you believe in luck or training?
Yeah, you got to believe in your training, you know, that's why you train. You're a soldier, you do your job, and 50-50, you know, sometimes you get hit, sometimes you don't.
In a party like his, your chances of coming out alive are pretty negative, you know. And he had never got hit. That's amazing.
At the ceremony, one of the only two other living VC winners, Warrant Officer Keith Payne, who earned his medal in Vietnam 40 years ago, summed up the rare distinction of Mark Donaldson's award.
But he's just like another soldier, except he's not another soldier. He's a soldier with the Victoria Cross.
I cried, mainly because it's such a big honour, and a big honour for Mark. But I really didn't have any idea of how much it would change our lives and how much it would affect our lives at the time. I just thought, wow, he must have done a really good job.
Our guest of honour is across there, Trooper Mark Donaldson SAS.
Mark has lent his VC to the National War Memorial, where it'll be on display with others for a few months. He and Emma are looking forward to getting back to Perth, while the Army decides where it can best use our latest VC winner and hero.
How could you not be proud or happy about that? If someone comes up to you and shakes your hand in the street and says, good on you, good job. You know, when your mates shake your hand afterwards and they say that you did a good job, it gives you that same sort of feeling, you know. It makes you feel like you've done good for what you're trying to do. You know, it makes you feel like you're doing the right thing.
Howard Gibbs with that report, and as Howard said, Trooper Donaldson is one of only 3 living Australian VC winners. Pretty special. Still to come.